Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We are here on In the Trenches for another episode of Sales Strategies and Motivation. Today, we are diving into the needs assessment. And so buckle up for an insightful session. I am going to start by reading to you what the needs assessment is. So the needs assessment is a stage of the sales process which is critical for understanding the specific requirements, challenges, and goals of the prospect. Here is a breakdown of the key components of the needs assessment stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
I leave you with JT here.
All right. Thank you, and good day to you. We're going to go through 8 different stages here in the needs assessment. And what we'll do then is we're going to break this down a little bit further based off of what we talked about last week, the different steps of the sales process. Today, we're talking about needs assessment. So we're going to break it down even further. And then in subsequent videos, what we'll do is we're going to take each one of these sections and break them down even further. So today is going to be a nice overview of the stages of the needs assessment.
Sorry, and so don't we have them over here?
Yeah, we do. So we have introduction and rapport building, open-ended questions, active listening, probe for details, identify pain points and challenges, explore goals and objectives, summarize and confirm, document and analyze. So we're going to kind of do a little bit of a round robin here, read to you a little bit deeper into each one of these. So on the introduction and rapport building, you're going to begin the conversation by introducing yourself and building rapport with the prospect. Establish a comfortable, open environment conducive to sharing information. So this may be the initial conversation where you are delivering a pitch and starting that conversation, you deliver your pitch, you start to build rapport, and create that environment where the prospect is open and actively wanting to participate with you. It could be a second meeting as well, where you've already kind of done your pitch. Now you're sitting down again with the client and you want to open that conversation well, and you want to start that, again, conducive conversation about their needs and start to assess.
And then going into the open-ended questions, I want to start by asking open-ended questions to encourage the prospect to express their thoughts, needs, and challenges that they may have throughout their company. Some examples of that, or of those questions, would be, could you tell me about your current process, product, or service that you may be with or have at your company? What are the main challenges you're facing within your company? And then how do you envision addressing that specific problem that you have? Those are some of the open-ended questions that you can ask to gather more information for your sales, for the sales process or your presentation.
Yeah, and if you've ever asked somebody an open-ended question that people love to talk about their problems, right? So if you've established that introduction, you've built some rapport, and now you ask a good question about, hey, what challenges are you facing? A lot of times, because people like to get stuff off their chest, right? You've built that environment. They're going to start telling you, and they're going to start giving you information that you need to start paying attention to.
That's right.
And this is where this comes into play.
That's correct. And we actually touched on some of those open-ended questions yesterday. So if you watch a video yesterday, you won't lose any of that information.
Yeah, that's true.
So active listening. Practice active listening to fully understand the prospect's responses. Just like I was listening to JT and Isaiah right here. And pay attention to verbal cues, tone of voice, body language, and to glean insights into their priorities and concerns.
So you see how these things all follow each other, right? So you've got your introduction. You again, whether it's the first time or the second time, you bring coming in, good attitude, starting that nice environment to have a conversation. You're going into open-ended questions to get the prospect to start to talk about their problems. And now that reminder of, okay, I've got them talking. Now I need to listen, right? I've got to listen to these cues. I got to listen for this information. Now, once I've got the prospect talking, I'm looking at probing for details. So Dive deeper into areas where the prospect provides vague or general responses. Ask probing questions to uncover specific pain points, goals, and preferences. Examples. Can you elaborate on that? How does that specific issue impact your day-to-day operations? And what would a successful solution look like to you? Again, we've actively listened, taken some notes. Now I can come back and, based off of that information that I've been given, ask some more questions that dig deeper into the prospect's needs.
Now, does sorry to interrupt. Does that work in both companies, or like knocking at doors, or how does that look like to you?
I would say yes and no. If they tell you that they have a direct problem that they want to solve, maybe that's getting the patio cleaned up because they've got a graduation party coming up.
Okay.
Then that could be something that I need to solve. But other than that, not really. Sometimes, or most times, when I'm at the door, I am actually creating a problem of my own, and just making it seem like they have a problem when they don't actually have one.
Okay. So creating a good picture in their brains, and
not a good picture, but creating a problem that I have the solution to. That's what I'm doing. They're not.
So are you creating a problem, or are you pointing out a problem that maybe is not top of mind?
I'm pointing out a problem that they may have later in the future that I could solve right now before it gets bad. Is probably an even better way to put that. But then you want to identify pain points and challenges for the company that you're dealing with, or the person that you're dealing with. So you want to focus on identifying the prospect's pain points, challenges, and areas of dissatisfaction. You want to explore the consequences of unresolved issues and the potential impact on their business or organization if they don't solve those issues. So, like I just said, I'm pointing out a problem that they may have later in the future that could turn into a bigger deal down the road. Examples of that would be how does this specific challenge affect your team's productivity? What are some of the implications of the issue, or what are the implications of the issue for your bottom line? And then, are there any regulatory or compliance concerns related to that problem or issue that you may have within your company?
Yeah. So really, you've gone through. This is really a great step-by-step, right? We've introduced ourselves. We've open-ended questions to get the client talking. We've listened to them. We've probed for more details, and now identifying pain points and challenges. With those type of questions at this stage, what are you getting the client to do? What are you getting that customer to do? They've given you their pain points. You've dove deeper into them.
You're getting them to realize why it's a pain point and why they should resolve the issue before it becomes a bigger problem.
Yeah, you're really getting the client to think about their problems even more, really grasp them, right? And go, yeah, you know what these are, and you're getting them to think about what kind of pain, what kind of trouble that's fine. A lot of times it's going to be a money thing, right? Not solving these problems is going to negatively affect production or something else in the business, which at the end of the day is going to reduce the bottom line. So you're getting them to really think about these problems. And it's also, we talked about earlier, this process, what it does is it really establishes you as a professional, as somebody who knows what they're talking about. We talked about trusted advisor versus salesman, right? Greasy kind of salesman, just trying to push a product to make your own paycheck. Following this process and going through this, you're not only, helping the client to think about their problem and to think about what, how to resolve it, but you're also, showing that you know what you're talking about and that you're a trusted advisor. Those things through this process will really set you up to be the person that they want to work with moving forward.
And, it's always like better in life to play offense than defense, right? Am I right?
Well,
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, number 8, explore goals and objectives. Shift the conversation to discuss the prospect's goals, objectives, and aspirations. Understand what success looks like for them and how they measure performance. Examples of these are: what are your top priorities for the next / time frame, right there? You fill it in. How do you envision your business evolving in the next year, quarter, week? What outcomes are you hoping to achieve with a new solution, product?
Yeah. So again, what are you getting them to do now?
You're getting them to see how they can resolve that issue. What are some steps, or what are the steps to take, or that I can take towards resolving this issue that I have within my company.
There you go, taking action, right?
And you're getting the client to really think about the problem. You've got them to think about the negatives that it is doing, the negative effect on the business. And now you're getting them to think about, the resolution and how the future can be better. They can be better off in the future by resolving these issues. Again, you're really getting the client to think about these things all the way through. And at the same time, you're really getting a good understanding of the problems, the resolution, and how you're going to eventually show the client to get this through. So summarize and confirm would be the next step. So you're going to recap the key points discussed during the needs assessment to ensure clarity and alignment. Confirm your understanding of the prospect's needs, challenges, goals, and priorities. Seek confirmation or correction from the prospect to ensure accuracy. So examples. So, Mr. Customer, if I understand correctly, your main challenges, you summarize those challenges, are blah, blah, blah. And is this accurate? Or based on our conversation, your primary goals are X, Y, and Z. Did I capture that correctly? Again, you're repeating this back to them. You're repeating the problems, the resolution, and you're making sure that you have a really good understanding. Again, establishing yourself as somebody who is a professional and who is someone to be trusted moving forward.
Next, you're going to want to document and analyze. This is going to be the final step of this process. You're going to want to take detailed notes during the needs assessment to document the prospect's requirements and preferences. You're going to want to analyze the information gathered to identify common themes, patterns, and areas of opportunity that they may have. And then you want to use the insights gained to tailor your solution or proposal to meet that customer's needs, and just make sure that they're effective when you go to kind of finalize everything in that process.
Yeah. And this is a spot, right? Obviously, you're making sure that you have all your information. So for Isaiah, I had thought of something earlier when we were talking about kind of going through the needs assessment. Mm-hmm. It's not uncommon for you to find somebody who may be interested but have other needs. Correct. In your service. It's also not uncommon for you to find people who really don't have the need or don't want the window cleaning or the power washing done. But you come across a lot of times deck refinishing. Sometimes it's something maybe when you go out there, they're not thinking of. You get the deck refinishing. You have other things that you do provide, or you have, like you talked about yesterday, partners in your business that you work with, referral partners that do other type of work. Mm-hmm. So this is a spot where, if you get a chance to kind of break into those additional needs, you not only might find something for you and your crew to be able to do, or be able to pass off to somebody else. So it may be something where you're having to come back now and propose something. So obviously you're not going to just throw them some price if they say, the whole deck needs to be refinished, the stairs need to be fixed, and I need that railing done over there. Okay, well, you're not going to be like, well, it's, X amount of dollars. So you need to make sure you have that information so that now you can go back, put together, or find the right referral partner to give them the information to come back and have that conversation. And one of the key things here is you never want to leave this meeting without setting a solid next date. So it's Wednesday. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. We just finished up our appointment. I know it's going to take me 4 or 5 days to really fit this in my schedule, put this together. So, hey, Mr. Customer, how does next Wednesday, and usually, like, for me in my business, usually a week out is a good time frame. So, hey, Mr. Customer, great. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put together a solution. I want to come back. I want to show you, what we can do for you. How does next Wednesday at 11 a.m. work for you again? Okay, sounds good. Good. Don't leave without that next appointment booked. As soon as you leave, your customer is going to be on to a million other things, and they're not going to be thinking about you, okay? Because they're busy. So you want to have that done. You want to have that on the calendar before you leave. I would say this is also, in that process, a good step where you can ask a couple of questions about, hey, after we've gone through all of this, if next week when I come back, if I'm able to put a solution in front of you that solves X, Y, and Z, is there any reason why or anything standing in the way of you moving forward with that proposal if you like it and you agree with it? Get that commitment now, because next week you can use that when you come back, right? You propose it. We said we needed to do X, Y, and Z. This proposal does it. How do you want to move forward?
Yep.
You have the paperwork ready. Now that, well, I don't know, but it's also a spot where you can unbury that objection, that especially that big one that we talked about last week was, well, I like it, but the CEO has to have the final word and the final sign off on it. Well, you want that CEO to be there on that meeting next time. So with that, I'm going to let Ms. Mariella close this portion out.
Okay, so by thoroughly conducting a needs assessment, sales professionals can gain a deep understanding of the prospect situation, enabling them to offer tailored solutions that address the prospect's unique challenges and goals.
Yeah. And like we said at the start here, what we'll do is there's a lot of sections in here where we can dive even deeper. So, pay attention as we move forward through the sales process. We're going to get back into these individual parts of the process more. So we will just do things like covering the pitch, open-ended questions, active listening, how we can improve on all of those things. Isaiah, any last words before we go?
Yeah, so when you're looking at the board here, I would say one of the most important things to do, and this carries out throughout the whole process, is going to be active listening. Active listening is huge. Whether or not you're doing door-to-door or you're doing over-the-phone sales with a process that's a little bit longer, you don't, like JT said, you don't want to just go there, be like, I have a product, you need the product or service that I'm selling to you because of this, this, and this, and you don't listen to that customer at all. You want to have an actual conversation with them. They're another person just like you are, and just like everybody else is. So make sure that when you're in sales and you're going through the sales process, that you're always trying to, be an active listener. The more active listening you can do, the better the process, the smoother the process is going to go, and the better chance you have of closing that deal.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get your opportunity to talk.
Correct.
The best thing you can do is shut up, listen, and ask good questions. You don't need to spill all the beans and say everything. Let them do the talking. Good questions get people talking, and at the end of it, they feel like they had a better experience because they were the one. This is an interesting thing about communication and learning how to do good questioning. The better questions you can ask to get the other party talking, at the end of the conversation, the other party is going to feel more satisfied and they're going to be happier with it because they're going to feel as if they were in control of the conversation because they did all the talking. I did 90% of the talking. I talked to this guy, told him everything. I was in control. When in reality, the person asking the better questions is the one who's actually in control of the conversation. So with that, we've got a video here that we'll share. It's Jim Rohn. He's a sales trainer, motivational speaker from last century. I think he may still be around. His stuff is fantastic. This is a little bit about communication. We'll watch a couple of minutes of it. The link is in the description along with all of our notes. Please like, share, comment, give us your feedback. And with that, do you have anything else, Miss Mariella?
No, I just want to say he actually died, by the way.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
did recently.
But
you're
yeah.
right.
Anyway, so doesn't matter. So he has good advice.
He does. All right, we'll start this up, and we'll wrap it up after that. Thanks a lot.
Few more years as we get ready for Century 21. What a good time to set your goals, work on yourself, work on your skills. What a good time to get it together. What a good time to start this process. Personal development, growing, changing, developing, having a good plan for your money and for your life, for your future. Why not now? You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. If you just remain how you are, you'll always have what you've got. But if you're willing to make changes, the next 5 years of your life can be totally different than the last 5. If you don't change, chances are excellent the next 5 will be like the last 5. For things to change, you've got to change. For things to get better, it's not what happens that determines your future. It's what you do about what happens. Direction determines destination. All you got to do is make a little change in direction to arrive at a brand new destination in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. If you want the future to change for you, you've got to change. If you don't change, the next 6 years of your life is going to be just like the last 6. You'll still be behind on your bills. You'll still be behind on your promises. One of us can do it. Hey, we all can do it. Now here's my last question. Why not now? Faith comes by hearing words, good words. Somebody who well chooses their words and delivers them with uniqueness can inspire faith for somebody to believe the most impossible things can be possible. And that excitement of possibilities comes from hearing or reading unique words. One of the best phrases I could give you for the day, here it is. Don't be lazy in language. Here's the first step to achieve good communications. Number 1, have something good to say. That's step number 1. It's fairly obvious. To have something good to say, try to recall and remember and take notes, keep journal, whatever, of your experiences, because as you live your life, you're going to have something good to say. 1, from your failures. 2, from your successes. You're going to have something better to say from the mistakes you've made and how you corrected it and bailed yourself out. And sometimes instead of just registering it in your head, why not commit it to paper so that it gets logged, it gets recorded, and someday you can use it for the future? Have something good to say. The key to speaking well, the key to excellent communications is preparation. Actually, all of our life is preparing. This year, preparing for the next. Those first, 8, 9 grades preparing for high school, then high school preparing for college, college and university preparing for a career to earn money, then preparing to make the investments to keep you safe and secure, build a financial wall around your family nothing can get. Always preparing for those steps and stages in our life. That's part of the game of life. For humans, it seems like it takes us longer to prepare. After 17 years, we're not quite sure. Preparation, getting ready, sometimes seems so laborious. After going to grade 1, now you got to go to grade 2. After grade 2, it's grade 3. Will it never end? Come on, one more grade, grade 4, and then 5. Wow, seems like it takes us forever to finally get ready, to design a life, and get married and have a family and a career and fortune and future. But it takes preparation. Now, to communicate well, here's some good words to prepare for communication. Number 1, interest. If you'll develop an interest in all of that, when it's right side up and when it's upside down, take a keen interest in the politics of the day and the speeches and all that's happening. It gives you good stuff to debate and decide. Where do you stand on the major issues? Not only the political issues, but the major life issues. Be that interested in life.
Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Oh, man. All righty. Yeah.
Signing off.
Signing off. We'll see you guys.
Hope you like the message.
Yeah.
Have a great Wednesday.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to say